The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and we have quite the information to share today as well. October's just been full of the energy. It's been challenging us, and yes, we're going to talk a little bit about some of that today, because this new moons are all about beginnings, and this is a Scorpio new moon coming up on the 27th, 28th, depending on where you are in the world. And it brings, it's going to bring some truth. It's going to bring it. Let me put it that way. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. There's always a positive aspect to all of these things, even though they feel like, oh my gosh, crazy stuff going on. We've been busy over here just trying to keep up with all the updates on technology, and we're still working on a few things with that because there was just almost everything all at once. And we're going through some shifts with that, but also we're going through our own personal awakenings too. And I don't know if any of you guys have been feeling that emotional pull where it just seems like you're great, and then all of a sudden you're second guessing, and it just feels like it's a little bit more raw and on the edge. You're not alone. I've even felt that a couple of times myself. And I do want everybody to know that Archangel Jophiel is who came in when I was asking for an angel for this show today. Because I basically, every week I do that. I ask, who can help me deliver the message that will benefit all of us. And it was Jophiel, and Jophiel was perfect for this energy coming in with this new moon, because Jophiel always reminds us of the positive perspectives to everything, even when it feels like everything's falling apart all around you. We are experiencing quite a bit of things changing suddenly or unexpectedly, or something we just weren't aware of is popping up. That's really coming forward with this moon. Jophiel also wants us to remember that, things that need to fall away are going to fall away. We're going to feel that in a transformative time. And I remember this morning, I didn't sleep. I'll be honest with you. I didn't sleep very much last night. I was very awake, and that hasn't happened in a while, but it did last night, and I thought, okay, what's going on? And I woke up early before daybreak, and I was thinking so deeply. And then as soon as the light came, the sun rose, because I was asking for that. I truly want to help the people that tune into this show. I want to grow with you. Sorry. I feel like I'm getting ready to cry. I probably will, because I'm feeling all this stuff too. I'm just feeling it very, very deeply, the passion, the love for all of you, to keep you lifted, keep me lifted, as we're going through some challenges while we're watching things that we're so used to fall away as something new comes in. We're in it. We're in the thick of it. We really are. So I was asking for that support, that validation this morning, and the biggest, most beautiful monarch butterfly just went floating around the backyard, and I've never seen one quite this big. I thought it was a bird, and I know birds don't move like that. That's not a bird. That's moving like a butterfly. Got closer, it was the biggest, most beautiful butterfly. And butterflies are a symbol. When you look at spirit guide, animal guide, things like that in nature, like a nature message, it's all about transformation. They metamorphosize. They start off, right? They start off as a caterpillar. They go through their cocooning, they're changing, and then they emerge the way they are in that spectacular, beautiful form and shape and color. They're reminding us that that's what we're going through too. If you feel like that's happening to you, it probably is. It's happening to me too. I know. And Jophiel really brings a lot of support for that, because you just feel sometimes exhausted because things are moving so fast right now. And yeah, because we're just changing. We're all changing. And what I love is we come together, you know, for those that come in and show up every week for the show, you know, you guys inspire me too. You guys are there. We get to know one another a little bit better. And also, you're not by yourself. You don't feel like you're by yourself with all of this spirituality stuff. So the Scorpio is kind of intense, you know. It's a rebirthing. It's a deep one, and there's change in the air. It's shifting. So you know that something's got to change. You know something's just not working anymore, and you may have that heaviness that you feel, and sometimes our stress is letting it go, you know, or moving on. And that we're going to talk a little bit about how this energy is transformative. It's the way we emerge. It reminds me of the phoenix rising out of the ashes, because you might be feeling like so many things are falling apart or so many things are going away, but there is always something better that's going to come through if we just don't try to hold on and stay so focused on what we know needs to fall away. And then it opens it up for us to move into a new direction. And we are all moving in a new direction. We're all becoming aware of things we never knew we could comprehend. There's a lot of that going on. We're comprehending something very new. Now, technology-wise, so guys, bear with me if it's weird, but we're in the Mercury retrograde that's approaching on the 31st. And so it's still building its momentum. It's coming through. It's happening. And it is what it is. So we've done everything we can here. We record it. But if something goofy goes on, I mean, it doesn't surprise me when we're in the middle of live streaming and retrogrades. It just happens. So I'm going to keep going because we're recording it, and we will make sure if something happens with this recording, we will make sure we put it up anyway. So what I want to do now, it's 11:11. I just happened to be drawn to look at my clock, and it is 11:11 here. So there's another transformative, like, what do we think about? We're thinking about positive. Archangel Jophiel is helping us with that. Very positive angel. No matter how down you might feel, Jophiel always brings this positive perspective, flips it upside down to show you, well, there's another way to look at this. And I love it. You know, it's a lot of it's either glass half full, glass half empty, you know, and if you're starting to feel defeated, this angel is beautiful for just lifting and bringing that comfort to get you hanging in there. Just like, it's not like we're trying to survive constantly, but it feels like that sometimes when we start to wear down. But the strength that you have to be in this game right now, in this world right now, is phenomenal, because the emotions are being yanked at. We're changing in our physical lives. I mean, major changes, like we're either relocating, job change, relationships are shifting or unexpectedly leaving, things like that. And we're adjusting constantly. I know you are. And that's why we want to look deep into what this Scorpio new moon can help us with. One of the things that I wanted to mention was that it will bring it'll feel like a strong wave of energy, somewhat like that. You'll just feel deeply with this one because, Scorpio is a deep feeling energy anyway when Scorpio comes around. And it's about the change. It's about new truths, new things you're going to discover about yourself or about your situation that you just had no idea. Like, whoa, I had no idea that was what was going on. Oh my gosh. That kind of thing. It's going to be surprises like that. You might even be caught off guard by some of it, but it's not to be negative. It's to truly help redirect us in a new direction that's better. That's going to empower us. That'll be so much better for us. So, and it does seem like no matter what we feel like we catch up and then we want to just catch our breath and slow down for a minute, it just seems like, I just want to stop for a moment. And then it doesn't feel like it wants to do that. So, I'm going to take a quick break here in just a moment. I want to check over with the chat and YouTube. I see you guys, all you beautiful souls. Hello to everyone there. Let me know if anything's weird over there. I know there might be some out of sync with the video audio. We have been working on that. We are doing our best, but that's part of those updates that I was talking about. So I'm at the mercy of technology helping me with that. But let me know if anything happens over there. I do want to say hello to all of you. It looks like everyone is kind of expressing and feeling the energy that I'm talking about. Judy's saying, man, this is what I've been feeling this past month, feeling anxious, anxiety, trying to get more balanced. It comes out of nowhere, so I really needed to hear this today. Thank you. I did too, Judy, to be honest. And that's why it's like tears are right on the edge for me right now. But I also didn't sleep all night. And that'll happen to me sometimes when I'm going through something big and transformative. I'm seeing, when you sometimes are seeing the truth for what it is it something that you were you were hoping wasn't the truth, but then it ends up showing that it is? That'll happen to us sometimes. I haven't gone through something like that, but I'm feeling so much from everyone else, and I've had to really take a deep breath and go, now don't get overloaded, because then how are you going to help if, remember, you're an empath too. You've got to process that out. And it feels like it came in very, very strong. It felt like it came in out of nowhere and just hit like that. And I was feeling multiple masses of people all at once, and it felt overwhelming. So if you feel the emotional all over, what it's doing is it's bringing it to the surface to make you aware of where you have any cord attachments left, and that you need to know that's what you need to let go of. It's like, oh, that's where I'm still hanging on, or that's where I haven't released that, or I'm trying to keep it, or I'm trying to control it, whatever it is. Anxiety is kind of a manifestation of a fear. And a fear sometimes is a reaction to something we are trying to control that we probably shouldn't even try anymore. We need to let it go. Things like that can happen. So this moon is really going to be bringing a lot of clarity. And in a week's time, you might be feeling like, all right, well, I wasn't expecting that, but now I feel completely different about this situation, and I'm going to go in a completely different direction. What you thought was, iron solid, what was your everything, if that seems to be challenged and it's showing you something different, honestly, don't fight it. Just listen to it and process that, because maybe maybe what you thought was the best way, it's showing you something that would be even better. And we have to flex with that a little bit to allow to see beyond. That's that Jupiter energy I was telling you about before, where it just pushes out and it's causing some expansion spiritually that we weren't quite ready for. We were like, whoa, I don't know about that. That seems like, beyond anything I can wrap my brain around. Well, Jupiter's expanding and expansion wants you to reach further. And then we had Aries trying to do that with us, giving us that guts, that no fear to go for it. Scorpio now is going to pull away a mask here and there, reveal some truths that we need from our inner self, and just really show us the real deal. And it's a very deep inner journey with Scorpio that is a rebirthing. And it's a brand new awakening type of feeling. And we come up out of what we feel like we just survived, and we come out stronger and better. And there's your phoenix rising out of the ashes. So that's part of this. So guys, there is a good thing here. It might feel like you're in the thick of it, but it is a good thing. And emotions are releasing the energy that's coming to the surface. So I've given you a lot to think about, but I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to keep powering on. If you have questions, if you're over in the YouTube live chat, go ahead and put your questions out there. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, our network, Transformation Talk Radio, is streaming for us over there. And they'll let me know if you have any questions from over there. They'll let me know. And I just want to welcome everyone. If you want to see what the live streaming is about, you can go to transformationtalkradio.com and look for that there. You can look for Facebook. Also, I have everything embedded right on my website, jennroyster.com, and you can go check it out there. So hang on to that thought. I gave you a lot to think about. When we come back, we're going to start diving in a little bit deeper and see what this new moon really has to offer us. I'm Dr. Jenn. You're listening to the Jenn Royster Show. We'll be right back after the break.
Tune in to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit jennroyster.com for more information.
and welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in, we are focusing on the energy that's coming up with the new moon on October 27, 28, depending on where you are. And it's a Scorpio new moon, and the new beginning and the changes that it brings. We're also working with Archangel Jophiel, because Jophiel brings a lot of positive energy to help us when we are feeling heavy and sad or down or defeated, that there's a new perspective we might be missing. And that's the part that I love about Jophiel. So, and thank you guys. Thank you, Mark, over there, for letting me know things are running perfectly over there. I appreciate that. We're just double checking because everything's been a little bit goofy with all the updates on the technology. So with this new moon, we're going to have the opportunity to see the bigger picture. Now, what's the bigger picture? The bigger picture is we have our little world, and then if we think about how the universe sees everything, that's a bigger picture. Or how does the group see the whole dynamic versus each individual? That's the expansion I'm talking about, that we will feel. We might feel that we just don't have the tolerance anymore to be around certain situations that just don't fit anymore. Or things are bothering us a little bit more because we've grown and changed. And that one, you want to have a heads up, because it's not about it being somebody else's fault if they're in a different place. It's about letting them be where they are and detaching, cutting the cord of attachment to how somebody else is being. And we stay within our own energy, and we're focusing on where we're going, because we're really lighting the way in the world when we're working on what we're responsible for, which is our own individual self, really. And then that's how we contribute. That's how it shifts. But when we get so caught up on what everybody else is doing, because they are probably in a different place and everybody gets to choose, now you're not paying attention to what you could be doing something about. Now we're getting upset about things we can't do anything about because that's somebody else's free will. That's a cord to cut. And that one is always challenging because we feel that in the physical world. But this Scorpio energy is no joke. I mean, it can sting. Now think about how the Scorpio is. It's a sign, by the way, of transformation. It's a transformative time. This is a rebirthing. It changes. I mean, when, if you think of the scorpion, when it defends itself, that's no joke, right? And then with Scorpio energy being, kind of the scorpion as its symbol, but if you look at the Scorpio energy, it's razor sharp when it needs to be to defend itself, which can be, whoa. And then at the same time, it can pull back, and it can soar, and it can fly, and it can see the bigger picture. And it can take you into a depth and a perception that perspective is very different from a different viewpoint. When you expand out and look back from the bigger picture, you see it very differently than when you're right in the middle of the thick of it. It helps you with your decisions that you do have to make individually. And that's sort of a metamorphosis right there. This entire journey that we're going through, remember the butterfly came through, it was the biggest butterfly I've ever seen. Honestly, I didn't even know they came that big. And I know monarchs are nice big butterflies, but that was the biggest butterfly I ever saw. And I knew that was the message, that this is one of the biggest transformative times in history. And all I can do is give you what I received with that. And so I said, Jophiel, what can I say today? Because we still are looking where we're shifting and changing, and we're going to soar. We're going to see the bigger picture. We're going to defend ourselves. We're going to stand up for what we believe in and all that. And then we're going to metamorphosize into something completely different, and all that old will fall away, and we come out of that ash like a phoenix, and we're a completely rebirthed, different being. And that's what's happening for all of us. And then as a group and a collective, we're seeing big changes in community and in different things too. So this is bringing, and this is the part I do want to talk about, because I know people are feeling this and it's a heavier mindset, but there's dark nights of the soul popping up here. Okay, what is the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul, everybody at one point has probably gone through one, or if not, will. And that's like, oh no, what's that? It's when you're at your, it's described as the lowest point when you're in your spirituality type. You know, you just feel like there isn't anything left. But that's your rising out of the ashes part right there. That's where you've just basically surrendered to it. Like that, you know, I'm good, I'm done. But then at that brink is when the shift happens. That's when the doors open for something else to come in. And that's when you rise up out of it. So I know that people with the emotions are feeling the heaviness of something like that. And you might be feeling like, why am I going through and challenging and questioning everything I ever believed in? Why do I feel like I just don't know anymore? You know, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to believe. I know, I get that. I get that. Because it's taking you through the cycle to clear out, really coming from the ego side of us, not the spiritual side of us. And then when we just go, you know what, this is that heavy thing. Oh, and you see it for what it is. It's before the door opens and something brand new, fresh arrives. So I really wanted to address the dark night of the soul, because I know some people out there are feeling it. I have felt it kind of going up and down, and I've been through it 2 or 3, you know, every time I'm going through a big change of something spiritually or awakening, going deeper, I have felt that. You feel like, wait, I thought it was like this and that and this and that. And then something will just, it just feels like it just rips the rug out from under you, right? This energy could feel like that, but it is not a negative. And that's the biggest thing that Jophiel wants to remind us of. No, 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 no. You just think it's going to be the end of the world. That's the old belief that's crumbling and falling apart. It's not. Because there's something new coming in that wants to come in. We have to be open to it, though. We have to go, okay, I'm going to let this all this old go. So if you guys feel like you're in a purging mindset right now, let that purging happen. If you feel like, wow, you know, I thought I cleared all this. I thought I was doing better. You are doing better. But we're going through a big push right now of a massive energy shift. Basically for everybody, whether they even know it or not. So if you're feeling that, and you're wondering why, what? The other thing, and I was getting ready to say this, and I'm going to bring it up because Donna's bringing up, is it possible to read past life cords without knowing all the details? Actually, yes, it is. Not in all cases, but yes, it is. Why? Because we detach the cord of the curiosity, just having to know and understand and analyze it like crazy. So, you know, something like that is what you're looking to focus on. So, yes, you can do that. And sometimes we feel like, why? And there is past life stuff coming up, not just this current life. So that was a good point to bring up, Donna, and I'm glad you did. This is a rebirthing. So what's it going to do? It's going to shed off. It reminds me of a shamanic journey, actually, when you go out into the woods and, you know, you basically, you know, that's kind of, this sounds kind of gross, but they, you know, you kind of do this spiritual dismemberment and then you bring yourself back together. It's kind of the rebirthing kind of thing in shamanism. But this feels like we're all going through that right now. And Jophiel brought up, you have to allow it. You're viewing all of this old stuff that's coming up. She said you got to think about it like you're, you know, watching a video or a film or something. And it's all recorded. Like, say, if you're watching a movie, it's already been recorded, right? And you're watching all this stuff that happened in the past as a history, as a recording. And you're watching it, but you're not in that right now. You're observing it. And then she brings it back. She always comes back as a positive, like female energy to me. But like I said, angels are genderless. But it pulls back, and it's like, you're watching things that were. And if you're feeling that attachment, you'll be able to see which ones you're attached to, how they're affecting you right now. And if it's starting to pull, there's a cord, right? If you're attached and it starts yanking you emotionally, there's a cord to detach. There it is, right there. And sometimes some are going to be harder than others, but they're not impossible. This energy of this new moon will help, because this is an intense one, but it is driving us to that brink that might feel dark, for us to have the most transformative shift ever. That's a good thing. I know. It sounds like we're talking about something creepy, but no, I'm not. I'm really trying to show you that this energy is good. This energy is worth it. And when you feel like you just want to cry your eyes out, you want to go ahead and do it if you have the ability to do it. Don't hold the energy back that's trying to pass through. If you avoided grieving something from the past and it keeps popping up and you have to process that, then process it. I'm going to bring up a couple of things here that are very important. When you're working with parts of your soul that might have they couldn't handle it when it happened, and it kind of splinters off. And we call that kind of like pieces of our soul that kind of detach, and we want, it's a little bit what I'm talking about is a soul retrieval type thing. And remember, we were talking, I think, last week about the inner child. This energy, I'm bringing all this up because this energy is very good for working with this. Because it's real, man. You can't really hide from it. It'll show it to you. Well, the inner child, if it's splintered off at the age of 10 because something traumatic happened, just an example, because you don't want to deal with it. And it's a way we survive things, okay? It's a way of survival in this world sometimes. But then as you're going through spiritual awakening, you're healing these different aspects of yourself. Sometimes that inner child, when it comes back, it has to grow up too. It's still 10 years old till you decide to bring it in and it grow up and catch up with the rest of you. And it will. It can. There's lots of things like that can happen. This energy can do that. This is more like, okay, that's really bothering me. I'm really feeling that one. Is it something that you just didn't deal with when it happened? And this might bring it up more intensely. You might have thought, oh, okay, I'm good. I got this. I got over it. And it brings it up and it's like, why am I feeling this? Because there's something still attached that's holding you back. And we will always process and go through different cycles of this. A lot of people think, when am I ever going to have all these cords detached? Probably we will always be working on some kind of cord attachment to whatever as we're in this lifetime here. I mean, it's just part of the journey here. It comes in waves. It comes in different cycles. It's when you're ready. But when you're completely detached from something, because when it pops up or you're reminded of it or you hear about it, you don't feel it anymore. You just don't. It's like a storm that passes and it doesn't faze you. You will know when you're detached. And if you still feel it, your emotions are a great antenna and a radar to help you clarify where you are on the journey. It really will. This energy is, sweeping the dirt out from under the rugs, basically, and showing us some things that we were probably maybe not wanting to pay attention to. Maybe we were trying to avoid. Maybe we just weren't ready. This energy really reminds me of that kind of soul retrieval that we're working on. But we'll be able to do it. You'll be able to bring that back yourself. You'll be able to handle that. If you feel like you're getting impatient, or if you're quick to anger, or if you're being, power struggles, things like that, all of that is because the ego is fighting and clinging to what it knows. And that's a lot of the stuff that's coming to the surface that needs to go away. This is just no joke, man. It is just bringing it up, and we're going, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I never saw it that way. I never realized that. Those new truths, those new unexpected discoveries are going to pop up. You want to grab those. You want to look at those. You don't want to feel like, oh man, I didn't know, or be hard on yourself about that. You want to go, you know what? I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing a bigger picture. I'm seeing things differently. That's the growth. I mean, I won't kid you. I mean, we're about positive energy here, but I'm not going to sugarcoat. Spiritual growth can sometimes have some growing pains because we're holding on to the stuff we got to let go of. That's what causes the growing pains. And we're not perfect at it. Some are harder to let go of than others. Some of them are like, no, I was really ready for this. I know. But sometimes it just comes in and we feel like we're in this overload of emotions. We're in this overload of all of these things that are expected of us. And just life, life here is bringing it all out. And that's why we're here. So the Scorpio new moon is a very good place to be, really. Honestly, this month, it will take you in and draw in a deeper play. It'll take you deeper within yourself to see where I need to accept that part of me. I have been ignoring that part of me. I haven't been honoring and respecting that part of me. So it's like a self-acceptance at a deeper level. That's huge when it comes to spiritual growth and spiritual awakening, because we ascend every time we go through these processes. We're just going through a really big one right now. It's building its momentum, no kidding. And we've been talking about it. Yes, we have. This one can be a bit of a, if there's been any ego in the way, it will be humbling, because it will just wake it all up for you. But there's, and oh, by the way, the Scorpio sign is a water sign. So the emotions will be felt. So I know you guys were mentioning that you were feeling the emotions quite a bit. I see a really good crowd there that's really picking up. I mean, everybody that's over here in the chat, I'm noticing is what they're mentioning is really, they're feeling all these things. Yes. You're not alone. You're not alone, because I was even feeling them. I sometimes I just find that I'm having these days where you just want to cry and you don't even know why. Has anybody had that? Have you had some very vivid dreams or thoughts popping in that you just don't know where they're coming from? Or some synchronicities that are, okay, wow, I'm really seeing that number a lot, or wow, I'm really feeling that. If anybody's been seeing a lot of fives, that's a change number, and a lot of ones. And if you see a lot of ones and a lot of fives, you're going to see that you're probably going through quite a bit of change. And it's not just those numbers, but those are very prominent when it comes to transformative and big change. So that's something there. If you're seeing some of the nature spirit guides, like I do, I see nature. I see, if you're seeing the crows, or if you're seeing the butterflies, or if you're seeing the dragonflies, things like that, any of that, all of these things are messages for you. It's like, it just depends on what you're seeing. Beth is seeing the 444. It looks like that's what she's saying. Hi, Beth. And what is 444? 444, angel number. It's tripled. It's also a balance number. And 4 is, next year, 2020 is a number 4 year. And that's all about relationships. It's also about the balance of life, because a 4 is 4 equal divisive parts. But also you have support with the angels. So 4s are a good number as well. Kelly's the crying chick. Weird dreams. Seeing 5s. Okay. So I think we just basically, everything that Kelly is having, we just mentioned, right? Well, This is a transcendent time, okay? When the new moon comes up, and you probably are already feeling it now. If you guys are feeling this now, you're feeling it, okay? Because the date, the 27th, that's just when it is going to be here. But usually you feel this stuff, momentum. You feel that building, right? You feel that. And remember, Pluto is very busy right now, shedding back, taking layers off so we can see deep. And then you have this coming in, and it's like, wow, this just isn't letting up at all. No, it's not. It's not. It's just amazing. It's just, this is a massive transformative time for everybody. So we have crows, butterflies, dragonflies. Vanessa saying sacral chakra represented by water. I'm hoping that the new moon will help release my aching lower back. I would put that intention out there. And for guys, I'm going to remind everybody, I think a lot of people that are in this show know this, but I'm mentioning this for people new. If you feel a lot of energy that is trying to process off of you and detach, use the salt bath method, use a smudge. You know, these are different things you can do in kind of like your own little personal ceremony if you want to do. I love the salt bath method because I don't like smoke so much, but a lot of people use a smudge stick. But you can also just literally ask Archangel Michael to help clear and cut these things away. But I have found that when you do the salt bath and you do that intention prayer and work with Michael, you wouldn't believe the stuff that will pull off of you. It is amazing. I have had clients tell me they cried for 5 days. They couldn't cry. They were trying to release and let go, and they could feel it. They took the salt baths, and then they couldn't stop crying for 5 days because it finally opened it and it was flowing and coming off. So it's not like you're always just going to cry, but it does do quite a bit. Why? We're using science a little bit here. Water is a conduit for energy, okay? The salt water helps pull and draw it from you and pull it out and release it for you. So it's really, it's not magical or anything. It's just, you're helping to pull that energy that's on you off, and the water and the salt can help. Not to mention how much better you feel afterwards. I mean, usually people sleep and then cry and sleep and cry. But it's good. My favorite is Himalayan salt, but you can also use sea salt. I would say use good salt, not just table salt. But also, I like Himalayan. I just like it. That's what I like to use. You can also, if you don't have that, you can use Epsom and baking soda together. It's a little bit more to clean up in your bathtub, but it works. It works too. It can pull it off. So there's options. There's options. I've had people say, I don't have a bathtub. What do we do? Fill something that won't break in the shower with you. Fill it with the salt water, pour it over you. I've had people do that, and they say it works great. In fact, it was a psychiatrist client that told me that, because I've had a lot of medical professionals be my clients, but they go through it too, and she didn't have a bath. She said, you know what? I said, let's try that. And so she did that, and it worked great for her. So there's so much going on here, guys. You want to help yourself release it. So that's why I wanted to take a minute and remind everybody about that. That's an easy one to do. You can use just water, but I think salt works. And guess what? Even if you can't, you can just wash your hands in salt at the sink and you'll pull some energy off. That's a great way to do it when you're at work or during the day when you need to get some of it off of you. So let's see here. We have Beth saying, hey, Jen and Angel Team, miss you guys. We miss you too, Beth. It's good to see you in there. And you're welcome for the 444 Insight. That's a good number to have around you, Beth. You're a busy lady. And Jen, let's see, Jen Baggett. Yes, yes, yes. Dreams, numbers, tears. Got it? By the way, I'm a Scorpio. Yeah, if you are a Scorpio, you probably will feel it a little bit more intense. Scorpios there's a lot to the Scorpio sign. I mean, they can go deep. They are no joke. They can bring it, but they can defend themselves too. So I know Jen knows what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take a quick break. Then we got to come back and close out the show. So guys, stay with me. I'm Dr. Jenn. You're listening to the Jenn Royster Show. We'll be right back after the break.
Tune in to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JennRoyster.com for more information.
Okay, we are in the last segment. We have just a few minutes left. So I just want to say, guys, if you have been feeling this, let's just recap this quickly. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. If you're feeling all the things we've been talking about, know that your awakening is right on track. You are in this to win it. Okay, you really are. We have an angel team, literally, that is there for us to support us when we feel like we just can't keep going. But the goal is they want to help us strengthen ourselves. So we know that we can do it. There's a lie. Know that while we're going through this and this energy of this new moon intensifies a bit, you might feel that, be mindful. Just be mindful of your impatience, irritation, anger, controlling, if you're trying to control any of those emotions that we consider a negative emotion, aggressive, hostile, that means the ego is trying to control things and it's not letting you get rid of what you need to get rid of. So it's a good clue there. So just watch what's triggering you or pushing your buttons, because then you'll identify quite easily and be able to release it. We can release it. You want to release it. Also, know that you want to remember that with a Scorpio energy, and if you are a Scorpio, you've been feeling it, I know. It looks like Beth is one too. You're going to have the awareness of the Scorpio as it digs deep and shows you these things you need to see. But what the goal is, you're going to rise up like the phoenix out of it. So you're going to see it. You're going to be down in the depth of it. That might feel like that dark night of the soul, remember. But it's going to show you, and then you're just going to come right up and out of it. And so you want to go in that direction. So it's going to take you deep so you can soar high, higher than you ever did. So we have to sometimes go deep for deeper cleansing. This is one of those times where we're all doing it. I'm doing it too. And it's just, you're going to rebirth a better you this way. You're going to find that these old parts of you that feel like they're just fading away, they're not really who you were anyway. They were probably something you were trying to keep up with and try to just feel like you were supposed to do. Maybe that's just time for that to fall away, because now you're going to be reborn into something new and go a completely different direction. If you thought you were supposed to go in one direction, really think about this with this energy. If you thought you were supposed to go this certain way, and this energy brings up unexpected surprises like, wow, that's not the way at all that I need to be going. I need to go the other way. What's stopping you? A cord attachment to something? Okay, this is how you can decipher through this energy. And remember, Jophiel, all you got to do is ask. If you feel like you cannot see something positive at all, ask. Say, Jophiel, I could use a positive perspective here, and ask to see. Did you guys hear that? My dog is snoring. That was great, right on cue. Anyway, ask to see that different perspective that will help lift you up out of the ashes so you can rise like the phoenix. There's a lot of energy here, guys. It's good energy. Remember now, this is happening on the 27th, 28th, this new moon. And then a couple days later, the Mercury retrograde kicks in for real. We're already feeling that a little bit. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff playing here. Pluto's shedding the layers away. Saturn is like, we're going to be serious here. And there's discernment to be had. And it's very directive. So there's a lot of energy going on right now at the same time. But it's all to help us through a massive transformative time. These are the times, so don't be hard on yourself if you're feeling it. Just know, if you're in the angel member retreat and the angel every day of the week, so you can put that in there if you have something that you want to have a question about, or if there's something you want to understand, or you have some kind of insight that you want a little bit more on. That's what it's there for. And with that, we're just about out of time. My goodness, what a day. Looked like we had a few Scorpios over there. Everybody's having some cry therapy. Pamela says, get in the fetal position and stay there for a while. I know, isn't that... That's a good... All this is good stuff, guys. Yes, absolutely. Karen saying her clarity came in hard, but I cleared a lot of junky, negative people out. Yep, there it is. That's what you got to do. And Judy is saying, great show as always. This one helped me tremendously. Judy, I'm glad you tuned in today. I think this is what a lot of people are information for you that you need to know about. That's what this is about. It's a metaphysical, angelic, energy healing type of show. I just want to say thank you to everyone that tunes in. Thank you to everyone that supports the show. Thank you to all of you that are working on your spiritual growth to be a part of. And you mean a lot to me. And it means a lot to me that you guys are truly putting forth the effort to empower yourselves. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Remember to tune in each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.JennRoyster.com and TransformationTalkRadio.com.